All right, whatever. We'll see how it goes. Let's draw something. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. My audio must be a little bit better. Just a whittle. All right. So, squeaky chair and all. Let's see how this goes. All right. Awesome. Okay, so this is the talking portion that's important because this video is going to be exported to UBTubies. So for those watching it on Twitch, you're awesome. For those not watching it on Twitch, you're probably still awesome, but you're just missing out. Let's see. So I'm going to just keep talking about the thing that I was talking about before, which is the importance of using structure to put together your picture. So if you hear anything in the background, it's more than likely my dog complaining because I have him in the kennel so that I can do this without him trying to shove me out of my chair for attention. Or you might hear my amazing, beautiful wife in the background who is a moderator and also telling me if anything sucks or breaks during the broadcast effort of this. So this is attempt number 2. What the hell should I draw? Tracy suggests flappy unicorns. I'm gonna have to save that for a special broadcast when I know I'm gonna have an audience. I'll set it up. We'll do a special night of floppy unicorns. We'll do like a drink and draw, do floppy unicorns, and that'll be amusing. At least to me. So all right.
Floppy. I said fluffy.
Fluffy. Sorry, even better. Fluffy floppy unicorns. So let's see here. Right, like in comics, most of anything you do has a base structure, right? You could be drawing a car and that's still fine because you got my poor attempt at sketching a vehicle from the top of my head. I suck at cars. not an engineer. Right. No, I don't know anybody's usernames. So if anybody is tuning in and whatever, say hi, introduce yourself, let us know. I didn't know you were going to do that. Let us know if you're watching. Tracy's being silly in the background, which doesn't matter. All right. This is me drawing a Chrysler 300 from memory because why not? But anyways, the point is as you could probably tell as I sketch this out, it's just shapes. It's all shapes, right? It comes down to proportions and angles and perspectives. Like if you're going to draw this and have it be more dynamic, you would do it from like a 3/4 thing like this. Notice it's shorter on this end and on the side coming towards us. This would be the windshield. Okay, and the top goes. And the side also gets bigger as it comes towards us. And that's way more dynamic than just a profile view of a car. Put the different things in there and whatever. Fine tune it down till it actually looks like a vehicle. But it's the same thing. It has basic structure, shapes. This is just squares and rectangles. A square is just an even-sided rectangle, but whatever. But in the purpose of drawing, rectangles are actually cylinders and squares are squares. That's at least that's how my approach to it. That's pretty fun. So let's just, because I don't actually want to draw a car, just select that and delete it and move on to something else. Anyways, hopefully that made sense to the only person who's currently watching, which is Tracy. Thanks for tuning in, Tracy. You are the best support ever. Is more true than anyone even knows. All right. All right. Sorry, I bumped my mic. Hopefully that wasn't obnoxious for people listening. Um. Okay, I guess I drew Wolverine in the last video, which the audio sucked. We learned that, and I adjusted it, and I guess it's a little better now. And hopefully, I moved the mic so it's closer to my face, which is fine. I also increased the sensitivity on the mic. I'm totally brand new to this level of streaming, but it's fun. And the whole purpose is for me, one, to do work, yay, but also feed into my extroverted nature, which gives me the opportunity to interact with other people and share what I know. Like this year, COVID, the year of COVID, um, there's a whole lot of not talking to other people, especially at like comic book conventions, which is a huge outlet for me artistically. So I thought, well, I didn't think of it actually. Again, Tracy, my wife, who's amazingly supportive, she came up with the idea that we should really figure out a way for me to do this so that I can share art and knowledge and answer questions and do whatever. Like before I got on this, I saw an advertisement for a comic book like educational program where you can pay $150 for the base level thing and they teach you how to make a graphic novel. And I thought that was ridiculous because I'll tell you how to make a graphic novel for free and help you out and everything. I don't care. I think everybody, if they want to make a graphic novel, they should just make one. It's not hard. It is hard to do it well, like it requires effort and diligence, but it's not something that should be kept as like some almighty secret from other people or something that you should have to pay gatekeepers to be able to do. So, whatever. If you want to know anything about, I have my own publishing company. I've published multiple books, comic books, graphic novels. I have made all sorts of mistakes. I can give you plenty of advice. My first piece of advice is storytelling over anything else. It doesn't have to look like what Marvel or DC produces. You can produce an amazing comic book with simple shapes, and storytelling is how you pull that off. So, like that stinking what's that fucking comic strip? Uh, something cyanide and whatever. You know what I'm talking about? You typing it in the chat. Cyanide and happiness. Yeah. It's circles, rectangles, and lines. Like it is not artwork in the sense of like illustrative quality, but it is masterful as far as storytelling is concerned. Those things are awesome. That the whole comic strip is great, and you could have a comic strip just like it. So, anyways, for me, I like to draw in the American comic book style. So I guess I should actually draw something and stop talking. All right. 11 and a half minutes into it, and I'm actually going to draw something. Let's do just a dude. Just a dude. That'll be fine. We'll make someone up. Always good. Let's do right here. So there's certain rules people follow. Like there's the head rule. You know, your head. You draw a character that's a certain number of heads tall, and if it's a bulky character like the Incredible Hulk, he's going to have huge huge body with a little head, so he's going to be multiple heads tall. But he's, because he's so stinking massive, he's just his waist is here, and the proportions are uber exaggerated, and there's different ways to pull this off, and then make him look like the monster he is, and whatever. Just to show you a sketch, this is how his body comes out here, and then they usually have like his feet and so that's an exaggerative, like Incredible Hulk type figure, or if you're going classical, you want to do Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You'd have a similar sort of thing. Whereas if you're having like Captain America, for example, standing next, let's use the same plane here. Having Captain America stand next to Incredible Hulk, one, he's nowhere near as tall. So maybe he's like this tall, but he might have a very similar sized head, and then he's got this body like this. Since Cap is a stud, and like that. Kind of looking down, whatever, he's got his thing here and his shield. Those, totally different structures. But you got I kind of have, I don't know why I drew Cap like he's looking down like this and whatever. So let's fix that really quick and lift his head up, have him look over at the Hulk like, what are you doing, Bruce? Bum, bum, bum. Whatever. So there you go. So you take the shape of his, or the size of his head, which is like that, and you take this and you do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I drew 9 heads high. That's a tall stinking Cap. But anyways, proportionally, you do it like that, and there's all sorts of different rules. But in the course of the page, like thing I like to think about is proportions. I want storytelling above all else. If I want someone to feel big, they have to feel big, and part of that is putting them next to someone else. Because I mean, you have Hulk here, like in this setup, he looks massive. But if all of a sudden we just had like, let's say this was an ankle behind him, terrible ankle, and draw this out, and here's his foot, because maybe Ant-Man's walking behind him. Now he looks incredibly small, because we got the heel here and foot coming down and whatever. And that's the kind of thing to think about. Whenever you put them next to, that's going to help tell your story. That's going to get the point across. It's important what we do. So let me get a new layer here. 1 second. No, I was trying to set up a new layer on this thing without losing the sketch that I did in case I wanted to try and use it later for some crazy reason. Hey, well, that's pretty nice. It's I got the link. I tweeted my link saying, "Hey, I'm on here doing this thing," and it was shared by a professional, well, a couple people, but one of them's a professional in the industry who is really cool and has no reason to like tell people to listen to me. So that was pretty nice. Thanks, Chris. That's all I'll say. I'm not trying to name drop, but if he happens to watch this, cheers to you, Chris. Hmm. My wife made strawberry margaritas. I have I have learned so much about tasty drinks because Tracy has introduced me to the opportunity to drink them, which is cool. It's better than drinking alone, but whatever. All right. So, understructure. Let's talk about understructure more. Okay. I want to draw someone, you can. What I don't like is when artists have these types of conversations and then they take a bunch of time to show you how to do it wrong. And so I'm not going to do that. You should focus on what you need to do, right? Because that's what moves you forward. So if you're drawing, no matter what your skill level is, you have to start with laying out your piece. Like it could be a full thing. You could say, "Oh, well, I want to draw this dude running down the street." Cool. Well, I'm gonna set a vanishing point, and I'm gonna have this, and I'm gonna have, you know, this whole thing here, and this is coming straight down because it's like right stinking there, and these buildings go up like that, and this, and boom, boom, and you have this whole vanishing point thing going on, and maybe the thing turns, so you want it to do that. You lay this whole thing out. You don't just wing it. You gotta figure out, what you want inside there and what type of space they're gonna take up, and then now you have this. Maybe you want to be a little bit higher up or something. So you have people running, and this close person here, their head is huge because they're right there and they're looking. I'm drawing too fast for my computer. I need to look like this over to the side, and maybe their shoulders out here like this, and they got their hand up like, oh my gosh. And of course, in the generation that we live in now, they're probably taking a selfie because, of course, runaway panicked and record it at the same time. That's the world we live in. So I'm holding his phone because why not? And he's like, I'm so scared. Whoa. Right, and then that's one dude. And then, but over here, more on this plane, we have another person who may also be trying to run away, but they're not quite as big because they're further in the distance. And this person, though, is like running like the Flash, just no cell phone, just pure focus on getting the heck out of Dodge. Gotta go. That person is racing. They're over there and not quite the same size at all. And then maybe, in the background here, the reason that they're running is because they're being chased by a giant dinosaur. Roar. So you can take this and try to fight the OCD that's in my head that says, Anthony, terrible dinosaur. And then here he is, T Rex, coming in like, I have tiny arms and I'm mad about it. But anyways, the point is that you lay this whole thing out, you get, oh, by the way, his other hand, of course, it's open. Don't ever be afraid to draw hands or feet, ladies and gentlemen. They're beautiful and they're not hard to draw. So he could be roaring and, maybe he's like, maybe he's stepping on a car just to squish it. Because again, comparison is how we get scope and size. And then over here, we can have like a light post. Maybe there's another light post here and like in the way of it. Just any point of reference. It's like, oh, if it's right, if this manhole is this big here, but we have a manhole back here that's smaller, gives people an idea of how much space you're implying within. Now, I'm not just going to put it out there. I'm not the king of perspective, but I know a little. I think I know a little to get away with it for a little while. This is how you do it. You really want to get good at perspective. Look at photos, take photos, draw those photos, and ask somebody who knows a lot about perspective if you suck at it. But everything goes to whatever the vanishing point is for that thing, and then you have to keep track of all that stuff. But yeah, that's sort of the general sense of it. You get the whole thing in here, and that's how that is. That's pretty fun, I think. Let me uh let me get a new layer. I'll do another sketch. And we'll talk about some more stuff. All right. All right. So the all right, I drew Captain America in a little sketch. Let's just draw fully rendered. Not fully rendered, but a sketch just to give you an idea of Cap. And not gonna do it. We do a different pose. I want to make him look more powerful, I guess, than the whole mad like raw thing we were doing with Wolverine. So anyways, so there's again, I'm gonna start a little circle for the head here. I usually follow a grid method for whenever I'm laying out bodies and heads. There's certain proportions that I stick to as a base. Grid method is pretty straightforward. I mean, literally, you can draw anybody's face with a grid method. I'll do a completely separate thing on that, but that's what I call it. I don't know if that's what smarter people than me call it, but got the helps establish the areas where everything is. Cap's got that clean, no one's ever broken my nose. Just so I'm already adding in a little detail there. That's me being silly. Let's just keep on track here. So this is where the ear is. We've laid out the lines of where the rest of the face is going to go, right? We have the proportions there. This goes down, neck comes out like this. Oh, he's a little more in shape, so maybe he has a thing going on there. All right, again, muscles, trapezius muscles, clavicle bone, I don't have a lot of this stuff memorized, but I have those key things so I can keep track of what's what. Straight line down the body. Then we have deltoids coming in here. Cap's probably got mad deltoids. Captain America. Dude's in shape. Probably just CrossFit. Crazy thing like that. But Cap loved CrossFit. Look, it's a team effort and we work together and this is so great. I'm not mocking CrossFit people. I'm just fat. I can't do CrossFit. Captain America's not dopey. Not dopey. All right. So this is a layout. You got the body here. Ribs, got this here. We can add in some details now. And sometimes I just draw too fast for the computer. All right. We got the nose. We got the basic outline to the face. Cap would have good, strong sort of chin going on here. I'm going to do a mask, so sure I'm going to mess this up. We'll just call this the Anthony Hary version of Captain America. Go like this. This line here, if you can see the cursor, is not his mouth. So get away from that. We want him. Go to an expression. Looks upset. I don't like that at all. We got here, boom, boom. Like I really liked how they did the mask in like the I guess what it is, the first cat movie, and then they brought it back. Thought that was cool. Like that it had like the strap underneath the chin. It was more of a helmet. That was an awesome way to handle it. So don't like this, so I'm going to erase it. That's okay. Watch. Easy. Erasing is allowed. Let me go back in here and bring this down. I'm going to turn his face a little bit more. Yeah, I think my mistake there is exactly what I was talking about. I was getting too far into actually drawing stuff. I wasn't keeping in mind my structures. Let's give him more of a 3/4 look to his face. Eyebrows are in there, and you barely see his eyebrows with the mask. Looks even worse. All right, let's back up. Drawing under pressure. All right, so reestablish all this. Still want 3/4 view. Maybe I'm drawing the head too big. Sometimes I've done that. Been told by mentors of mine that sometimes I've drawn the head's too big. So here's the middle line again. Again, going with the structure. Structure is friend. This halfway point. I should talk to Seth, see if he can hook me up with some, yeah, just custom Seth music. Guess we find out really quick if people like house music.
Well, I mean, we can listen to whatever kind of profit up.
All right. I'll just sing to you people while I draw. Here, I can finish it.
Let me just do this.
I almost finished it. All right. Whatever. It already looks better. Got the good structure of the head. I like the shape of the eyeball. Gives him kind of an innocent sort of look going on. Cap has those, at least in the version that I like. Stinks. Whoop. Awesome. That's funny. That was my drink refill. We're having strawberry margaritas tonight, which is new.
Strawberry peach margarita.
Strawberry peach margaritas, Tracy says. So, this video is not sponsored, but I highly recommend Terramana tequila from Dwayne The Rock Johnson. It's super tasty.
Sponsor me. No, just kidding.
Yeah, Dwayne should sponsor me. I think that would be awesome. We'd have a great working relationship. I'd draw stuff and he'd be like, "That's really good, man. That's really, really good."
I'll let you have one.
All right. He kind of looks like pre-bulked up Captain America, but whatever. We'll just bulk him up a little bit right here. Boom. Oh, yeah. But much better face. And you can see that when I finally slowed down and got over the hey, I'm drawing for people who might actually care about what I'm drawing. It just the form fix it. It's always I just it's almost like anything in life. You want it to work out, you have to slow down and do it the right way. And we try to argue with ourselves sometimes and be like, "Oh, well, I don't have to do it that way because of this and that." And it's like, "No, if you want it to work, you you have to do it. There's a reason some things are set up the way they are and a benefit to it." And you know, when you get like 30 years in the business good and you're wicked awesome, then by all means cut corners. But for now, don't do that because that would be stupid. Um, yeah. So there you go. I'll draw some more soon. I think 30 minutes is long enough for now. Besides, I want to make sure that this audio is good and everything else. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. All like one or two people that did in live time, and then if you are watching this either on replay or on YouTube, and there's anything you'd like to see me talk about or draw or anything, let me know. That'd be fun. I want to make this valuable for other people, not just productive time for me. So, yeah. See ya. I'm gonna sign off now. I'm gonna find my button. Oh, oh, goodbye.